Right, good morning everybody. Welcome to Monday's Total Fitness, and it's wedding bells is the name of today's routine. This was originally designed when about 3 or 4 people were all getting married on one weekend. Members of the gym, so we designed this. And then we adopted it as part of the cycle. Kettlebells, it is, obviously included in the cycle. Great wedding themed finisher as well. But yeah, if you've got a few kettlebells, a bit of variety is always good. Okay, that's what you're going to need. Right, we're going to get warmed up first then, as usual. Okay, just chucking up a stop first, nice and loose. 10 chest pull. Straps on. 10 chest pull. Arms nice and relaxed. Okay, 10 circles each way. Like usual, 4 drills twice round. Start with jumps. Hinge the hips, rotate the spine. Number 4, front lunge rotation. 30 seconds. Straight back, get your kettlebells ready. On each. Okay? We're going to start with an easy one, but some of them do get tough. This one's going to wall the anterior chain and posterior chain together. 30 seconds on, 10 seconds rest and swap. Number one is a loaded hip thrust. So this will be probably your heaviest kettlebell. Okay? Plant the feet, grab your kettlebell, rest at the end, squeeze your glutes, drive through. Okay, moving the spine as one, so tuck your chin in, lower back should touch the ground each time. Okay, high as you can, really get that sort of straight line or even a bit further from knee to shoulder. The second one, get 10 seconds resting and do plank jacks, low plank, keep your hips nice and low. Okay, in and out of the feet. If you'd rather do a side step, that's fine. Okay, so those two to get all 4 rounds, 30 seconds on each. Then we'll have a little breather and I'll explain the next one. 15 seconds. 10. Next combination, getting a little bit tougher now. Thrusters and squat thrusts to keep through. Okay, let me show you each. A little bit more complicated. Remember, you haven't got to do reps. Just focus on the movements you're doing. That's all you need to do. So the cluster is a clean, okay, through the thigh triangle, row and roll. And then it's a thruster, which is a squat and a press. So it's a combination of three movements, really. Yeah, clean, squat, press. Okay? So clean, squat, press. Okay? As fluid as you can get it. Okay? 1, 2, 3 movements. Okay? But seamlessly sequence together. Second one then, squat thrust to kick through. Right, watch carefully, because I'll tell you what most people get wrong with this one. So, you start out, feet out like a push-up. Squat thrust in, so your knees are just off the floor. Raise, rotation, raise the right hand up, keep the left through. Back, out, in. Kick the right, raise the left. Out, in, kick the right. This is what a lot of people do. Out and then go. And obviously, the stability's not there. Okay? The kick through happens on the in. Yeah? So it's in, kick, out, in, kick through. Out, in, kick through. Hold that in position. It's very difficult to get for a lot of people, the knees just off the floor and hold. What will tend to happen with people who struggle is when you can't get a mobility on hamstrings, thighs, and you can't get your knees out like this. Okay? The lower you can get your knees without touching the floor, obviously, and you just slip through nicely there. Okay? So it's worth practicing holding that fair core position. Okay, right, those two. Let's get it done. Hey there, bonjour. Yeah, hello, hope you're joining in. Kettlebells, all you need. Right, here we go. Okay. So, clusters first then, for 30 seconds. Swap sides every round of the clusters. Right, here we go. 3, 2, next combo. What do we have? Okay. Squat thrust to 4 swings and rat sit up. So the squat thrust to swing, unlike squat thrust to deadlift, you don't want your kettlebell at heel level. You want it by your hands really just in front. Okay, let me show you this way. So there, hands down by the side. Out in, grabbing and pulling it from here to here. And then starting your swing, yeah? There, 1, and through the thighs every time. 4 reps, and then park it back up. The same way. Out in, 4. 4 of them, park it up. And I'm not doing 4, but you get it. Okay, then right sit up. Hold your kettlebell in the right position. Okay, and then up. Keeping that kettlebell on that shoulder, hand under your chin. Okay, there's no press. You just hold it in that rack. Really working the core. You might need a bit lighter on that. See how you get on. Worst comes to worst. Drop the kettlebell. Just have one hand there like that. Okay? Right, let's do it. Okay. 15 seconds left. Right, squat thrust to 4 swings. It's number 4. Ready? Go. 3, 2, Kettlebell inside of the foot. And when you drop into your burpee, you're in the perfect position for that row. You're going to stick to the same side throughout each 30 seconds, swap sides each 30 seconds. You come to it, it's like this, there, come back in, row, back. It's fluid and smooth. Number two, halo squats. So bottoms up, draw that circle round your neck really. Okay, keeping it tight. Nice deep squat up, round the other way, down and round. Okay? Alternate the direction every breath on that one. Okay? Right. 20 seconds. So squat thrust, sorry, burpees in row and halo squats. Here's the start in a second. Okay, ready? Round one. Reach, reach to the floor. Back, back. Second one. This is real core exercise now. Tension, alternate tension leg raise. Okay, so you're going to get a kettlebell. One that you can safely get up like this, look. The higher the better. Or the higher the easier it will be anyway. Squeeze your abs. You're lifting your head and shoulders off the floor. Then your legs, glutes, squeeze. Okay, my feet are off the floor, if you can see that. I'm going to take one leg up, touch the kettlebell back. Then the other one, back. Then the other one. So that one weights. That is, it's extremely tough. So if you want to, you can just do it from the floor. There, back to the floor. There, back to the floor. Okay? We'll have a go at the harder one. Okay? Right. Remember, these are toughies. Go light, minimal weight until you've mastered the movement. Then you can increase the movement. Alright? Okay, ready? 3, 2. If you haven't got a step at home, don't worry, you're just going to mimic the movements step 3. I'll show you how you can do that, don't worry. Right, back here in a minute. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Okay? No worries, Will. You can always come back and do it another time. Anyway, so this one is what I call a trigger finisher. So the track plays, you do a background exercise, and then the lyric and the song triggers a movement. Okay, so with it being Wedding Bells, we've got Billy Idol. White wedding, yeah? So that track plays, your background exercise is side steps, step left, step right, step left, step right, nice and steady. I suggest you don't go crazy. If you will go at it like this, like a nutter, you're going to hit the wall quick. Just get a nice steady rhythm going. Right side back, left side, right side, keep breathing. It's essentially lactic threshold, you know, that's what it is. When you hear the lyric, start again, that comes first. You stop the side step and you do, depending on your ability, either 1, 2 or 3 plyo squats. Okay, 3 is insanely difficult, 2 is horrible, 1 is tough. There is no easy option. Okay? So I'm going to attempt 3. And also, if you're able to, full range, bump to box. Yeah, so I'll be doing 3 of these. Back to side steps. If you want to do 1, fine. 2, fine. You haven't even got to jump on it. You want to just step off and just do that. That's fine. At home, you'll be doing the movement on the floor, yeah? Side in, 3 plyo squats. 1, 2, 3. And when he says white wedding, which pretty much usually follows the lyric start again, you just hop off and do a burpee. Okay? It's 3.5 minutes long. It'll soon be over. So, white wedding, off, burpee, back on. Burpee on the floor, okay? Just follow me. Remember, go steady. That's your final point. 3, 2, 1. Okay, well done. Well done. Okay. Step back to level 1. Total mobility. Coming right up. Just a couple of minutes. Well done, everyone. See you tomorrow. Or